Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Jake.
So, hi. Jesus. What
This
is...
is awful.
So,
This is a shit show. How are you?
it is a shit show, but what specifically kind of a shit show is it, Carrie?
This is a horror YA book type of shit show, and I'm really excited to share my thoughts with you about Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare Blake.
Yes. So this is a podcast where every episode we pick a young adult book of some kind and we talk about it. And so that's the one we're talking about this time.
So pause and start reading if you want to be unspoiled, or just keep listening if you don't give a shit.
Yeah. Although this book, first of all, I liked it. And second of all, it has some twists that are kind of cool to encounter on your own. So this might, and it also, it's pretty quick to read. So this might be a good one to actually read before you listen, if you have any inclination to read YA books, which...
If you're listening to this, maybe you do.
Maybe you do. All right. Hopefully this segues into my rat story somehow.
If not, just talk about rats. You don't even need to segue.
Yeah. Hello, Carrie.
How are you?
I am doing okay. Yes, a very weird thing happened to me earlier today.
What was that?
A very strange thing happened to me earlier today.
What is the very strange thing that happened to you earlier today?
So this is a little gross. I'll just warn you.
How gross.
So I'm getting a piano in my apartment in May, supposedly. So in order to fit it in my apartment, I have to throw away a lot of my stuff.
Oh.
Which is something I need to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I was taking out some trash today, and I went down and I opened up one of the garage cans that my landlord puts out. And there was not really any trash in there, maybe a little cardboard or something in the bottom. But what was in there was 2 rats.
How?
Living rats.
Oh, a living rat. I was going to say, how dead were they?
No, they were totally alive, and they didn't seem angry or anything. They were just kind of hanging out.
They're city rats. They're used to people.
Yeah, I guess they probably are.
They probably watch you sleep.
They probably do. So after I found rats in my garbage can, I called my landlord because I didn't know what to do. And I didn't think my landlord was necessarily going to know what to do either, but at least it would be less of my problem. So what do you think my landlord's solution was?
Tip it over?
Yes.
What I would have done. Just, hold it as far away from you as possible and just kind of let it go.
Yes, he said, yeah, I guess I'll just roll it over to the vacant lot and tip it out. Because I don't want to kill them. Which the vacant lot is literally next door to the house.
So they're just going to come back.
Yeah. So, yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah, that's how you solve that problem. Speaking of watching you sleep.
Oh, yeah, that's a good segue. This book is like kind of a strange and, to be clear, great combination of like gross and kind of sweet.
I agree. Not only is Anna super powerful and she rips people in half by going through the chest and out, she also falls in love with her ghost killer friend. So there's a lot of sweetness. You're like, aw, they're in love. She's a mass murderer.
Well, yes. And also the whole thing with Carmel and Thomas.
Yeah, and I think, they probably would never have spoken to each other had a ghost not killed Carmel had not killed her boyfriend in front of her.
Her ex-boyfriend.
Her recently ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, so there are like 3 dudes. There's Mike, there's some other guy, and some other guy. And I can never... I have read this book like, I don't know, 7, 8 times, because it is a really quick read. I never remember who's who. I'm like, wait, who's the dead one?
Yeah, Mike's the dead one.
Then there's the other 2.
Right. Actually, what's kind of funny is to just kind of help me take notes, which I took very few notes this time for some reason. I looked up, there's like a Wikipedia thing for.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
And so there's an entry for the Trojan Empire, which is this group of, teenage jerks. And it mentions that there's actually a fourth one of them who shows up when they're originally described and then basically doesn't ever appear in the book again. And I think that's kind of funny. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all the same person.
Right. Basically, Will is supposed to be the smart one, and then Chase is supposed to be more or less a clone of Mike.
Oh, yeah, and then there's Simon.
Yeah,
Huh.
Simon.
What happened to him or how he was affected by Mike's death is not mentioned.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, what are you going to do?
So, yeah, Mike, they all trick Cass into going into Anna's house. He meets Anna. Anna's fucking powerful. Anna kills Mike. Hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
And now they have to figure out how to defeat Anna.
Yeah.
But also realizing, even though she drips blood from her hair and she murders people, including, someone right in front of them, Cass is intrigued by her. She's beautiful. What's the deal with the dress?
Why doesn't she kill him?
Why doesn't she kill him? Am I special? Am I a superhero?
I liked the teenishness of it.
It's really awfully teen in a way that I'm like, a grown-up would not do this. Ever. A grown-up would not be this stupid in so many ways.
Yeah.
What did you think about Kaz Lowood? Or is it Kaz or Cass? I keep always saying Kaz, even though in the book he says, it's Cass. Fuck it. Anyway, Kaz Lowood.
I just kind of liked how kind of dramatic he was in this way that he tried to deny to himself that he was being dramatic. Like he said, I'm not a superhero. I'm more like Rorschach from The Watchmen, who, to be clear, is a superhero.
He's literally a superhero. It's one of those books where I'm just like, where are the parents? And even though, Cass's mom is one of the main characters in the book, it's not like there's a whole lot of people going on. What is she thinking, letting her son, take up this fucking ghost killing job that killed her husband? Wouldn't she just say, you know what, we're going to return this knife and we're going to have normal witch lives? Well,
yeah. I mean, it seems like there is apparently a section of the story that is kind of glossed over between the point where she's literally locking him in his room to keep him from going out and fighting ghosts, to where we find him in this story where it's just like a thing he does on the reg.
But wouldn't she send the knife back to Gideon? Gideon is part of the, ghost killing club. We'll just say he's part of the Ghostbusters. He lives in England. And he was friends with Cass's dad, who we just spoiled, by the way, is very dead. So I would mail that shit back. I wouldn't even put enough stamps on it, so maybe it would get lost somewhere.
Yeah.
I just feel really weird about the fact that she's like, yeah, this knife has a lot of power. I'm going to leave it in my sock drawer so my son finds it and goes and kills ghosts. And I'm going to be really upset about this and lock him in his room, et cetera, until I just grow to accept it. No. Throw that shit in the dumpster.
Yeah, I think, right. I mean, yeah, no, totally. Well, I was looking at it in a slightly different point of view. I liked Cass's mother a lot. She reminds me of certain people I know.
I would agree.
Yeah. In fact, we're thinking of the same person, I imagine.
I would hope so. If not, we're both it's
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but if that person that we're both thinking of, if she were in this situation, my feeling is that she would be more likely to go out and stab some ghosts herself rather than leave that to her son.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who wants their kid to get in danger? Of course you're going to take it up for them. But anyway, Cass is not a superhero. He just puts his cape on one leg at a time.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Anyway, they just finished killing a ghost in, was it North Carolina?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yep, sure was.
So they killed a ghost in North Carolina. And then they're moving up to Canada because when you are a ghost killer, you don't need visas.
Well, yeah, right.
So they said,
or they probably have it. They have money and stuff.
They've got money. Okay, fine. Because she's a witch that sells candles, and so obviously they're rolling in the dough.
Well, his dad had a trust fund also.
Yeah. Stop ruining everything for me.
I'm sorry, man.
So they go up to Canada to kill like the mother of all ghosts, which might be called Anna Dressed in Blood. And Anna is super badass.
Yeah, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So as soon as he hears about Anna Dressed in Blood, he knows that that's where he wants to go next. That's the next ghost that he wants to deal with. And I don't is that, the athame, the knife that he uses to kill the ghosts, turns out is possessed with this spirit, the spirit that killed his dad, and gains power whenever he kills a ghost, and wants him to kill Anna because Anna is a super powerful ghost, and that will just make this spirit super powerful. So is that it's not really explained why he has this immediate feeling that he wants to go and see this ghost next, but it also seems like a lot of what he does is pretty arbitrary. So I don't know.
I think part of it, okay, so I have two theories. One of it is the name sounds super cool.
It does.
And so why wouldn't you want to go there? And the other one, I think that there is some sort of psychic connection between him and the Obeah Man.
Yeah.
Where he may be sort of not exactly forced, but definitely, a stronger notion is put into his head because of that connection. And again, the name just sounds so freaking cool. Like, I would want to go see Anna Dressed in Blood, and I am terrified of all things spooky.
Yeah, I think I think those are both. That's basically what I thought too.
But there's nothing in the note that said anything about her being super powerful, but he somehow knew that she would be.
Well, I don't know. It was like a little bit of a surprise. I think that was maybe the first time that he saw a ghost actually kill someone. Like, he's been attacked by ghosts, but I don't think, because he's basically a lone wolf.
Mm-hmm. Well, he saw, not literally, but a ghost killed his dad, and so he saw, what happens when you lose the fight.
Yeah.
You get eaten, people. The Obeah Man eats people, and it's really freaking gross.
It's really gross. Yeah.
A lot of this book is super gross. Not only is it really teeny, but when Anna does her shit, she doesn't fuck around.
That is true. So why doesn't she kill him, Carrie? That's a question I have.
I have no answer to this question.
Here's my theory. This is not entirely addressed in the book, but I think the Obeah Man, whatever, keeps her from killing him.
But how?
Magic, it's voodoo.
But wouldn't she sense him?
Maybe. Apparently not.
Because she's much more powerful than he is, and especially before the spell is broken. Because, oh, by the way, y'all, her mama was a witch, a bad witch, and cursed her and then killed her.
Yes.
So that's why she's super powerful. And her house is an extension of her, because her dress was stuffed into the floorboards. So I would think that she would sense the Obeah Man in her house. And she's much more powerful than he is at that point. So she would tear shit up.
Yeah. except because um, the knife has its own kind of power.
And she does say she senses the power.
Right. So yeah, you would think that maybe Anna could. But on the other hand, Anna's been stuck in that house for 100 years or however long. So
it wasn't. It was like at that point, 50 something years, 60 years, because she was killed in what, 57, 58.
Yeah. I have a question about that too.
Yeah.
This is a book with a lot of questions.
This is a book with a lot of questions, and oddly enough, not a lot of answers.
So, should I find it gross that she and Cass are hooking up, given that she's like 50 years older than he is?
Yes. Mostly because she's a mass murderer.
Well, there is that too.
Honestly, I mean, she's dead. She hasn't. She's still 17. She'll, I'm pretty sure there's, some song that says, you're 17 forever. I don't know.
That's a creepy song. There probably is. There are a lot of creepy songs.
You're 17 forever. You're never gonna grow up. The world is really sad for you. Murder some hobos in your basement.
Okay, someone can write that song and enter it in the contest.
I just wrote it for you, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Add another verse and it's yours. Yeah. Right. And there's this kind of point made that ghosts get kind of frozen at the moment of their death.
Yeah.
So
she has not grown up. She hasn't, experienced the world from the day that she died. Yes, she kills people, but
yeah,
it could have been, she could have died yesterday. She wouldn't really know the difference, except she sort of does at the same time. Because she's special.
I kind of like that there's sort of this actual like physical metaphor for, like if you're entering into a relationship with someone who's got stuff in their past that they're not proud of or whatever. Except in her case, like there are actual murdered bodies that come out of the floorboards and are like, "You killed me."
Yeah.
At inopportune moments when she's, gonna make out with the dude or whatever.
I just want to kiss this boy. And they're like, but my teeth are falling out.
Yeah, you tore my arms off.
I'll tear them off again if you don't leave me alone, asshole.
Yeah.
But I like this book, and I like the fact that people sort of go along with it. Like, even though, like, if I had seen, sorry, Jake, if I had seen someone murder you,
yes, I
wouldn't get like a ragtag band of misfits to try to like kill your ghost murderer.
Yeah,
I love you, and I don't think I could cross that threshold and believe, even if I saw it.
Well, I wouldn't ask that of you. That's not my expectation. If I get killed,
and it's not just regular killed, it's ghost murdered.
If I get ghost murdered, no, you can.
I can pretend I did not see that.
Yes, you have my permission.
Thank you. But not Cass. No,
Now, if you get ghost murdered, how do you? What are your? It's good to have these things. I'm glad we're having this discussion now before it's too late. So if you get ghost murdered,
if I get ghost murdered, make sure I just haunt something really weird.
Okay, I feel like you'll have that pretty under control, but yeah. I'll do what I can.
I just want something strange, like an Arby's, like not even the bathroom, like maybe the freezer. The freezer room in an Arby's would be, something weird.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't think that those are all haunted already?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad fry-later accidents gone awry.
Yeah.
Anyway, just find me a weird place to haunt and just forget the rest. You don't need to avenge my ghost death.
Okay. It's a deal.
Thank you. But no, Cass gets this ragtag band of misfits, a young witch who can read minds.
Yeah.
A hot cheerleader who is also at the same time maintaining her hot cheerleader queen bee status.
That is the thing that I loved so much.
While still riding in the mystery machine.
Yeah. I just love that part, that little bit where like they're hanging out by the lockers, like talking about how they're going to take care of Anna. And then some of the other kind of mean girls in the school show up and are like, so are you still
are you still part of the dance committee? And she's like, yeah, bitches, I run that shit. Get in line.
Yeah, she just shuts them down so hard without like even really trying. And it's a thing of beauty.
But her badassery does come into play later when she bats the Obeah man upside the head with a metal baseball bat.
Yeah, that was a power play there. That was a good move.
So we can't take her for granted, even though she's a beautiful queen bee.
Yes.
But anyway, so the fact that Cass gets this ragtag band, Misfits, and they're all just like, yeah, we're on board. Let's do this shit. Wow, man, you got to be really hot for this to happen.
Well, as luck would have it,
turns out he is.
Yeah.
Do you think that the writer wrote a good male voice?
Yes.
It's believable?
Yeah, I thought so.
Cool.
Why? Did you have questions about that?
I did. I mean, sometimes, I don't know how many guys like think about their looks, but he sort of thought about it a lot. Which is like, yeah, I'm hot, so I get like this is how I do things when I go to a new school. It's a good thing I'm hot. And she's like, really? Do they?
Well,
I don't.
I mean,
I know you walk up into the club like, what up? But
yeah, I mean, speaking from experience,
not everyone is as cool as you, Jacob.
No, that's true. I didn't necessarily. I mean, I definitely assembled a look in high school, which was somewhat thought out. But it was it involved a choker in the shape of a snake and a purple flannel shirt, and a 14-foot long scarf that I knit for myself. It was a lot of look.
It's geek chic.
I don't think it's any kind of chic. It was just stuff I liked.
So you put together a look.
Yeah.
And Cass has a knife.
Cass has a knife, yeah.
So obviously, he's going for the same thing.
Yeah. There were a couple of things in this book. There were two things that I expected to happen in this book. One which did happen and one which didn't. So one is the attic.
Mm-hmm.
Like from early on, I was like, they need to spend more time in that attic.
Yeah. The cat was telling me something from minute one, and I don't know why they didn't pick up on it. I mean, she's a witch. This is your cat telling you some shit, and you're not paying attention. Like, you get this cat to tell you shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then they heard stuff up there.
And they're like, oh, the cat's acting weird. Huh. There must be raccoons up there. Cool. Go look.
Take your knife.
Get a guy. I don't know. There's obviously something in your attic.
Yeah. Although I'm a little confused about that because I thought that the Obeah man was in the knife, but then he's also sort of in the attic.
He's not in the knife. I think he's connected to the power of the knife, but I don't think he's in it.
Okay.
I don't exactly know.
Fair enough.
It's a mystery. So anyway, so we all knew that something was going to happen, and it turns out the Obeah man was in their attic eating their cat.
He eats the cat. Oh, yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't care for that at all.
I was really bummed because that cat was the coolest cat.
Yes.
So the cat tries to tell them that there's an evil spirit living in their attic.
Yeah.
Just is generally a nice dude who tries to wake Cass up from these nightmares about said ghost in the attic. And is trying to do his freaking best to get these people to pay attention to him, and nobody does. And the Obeah man eats them.
And the other thing is that, like Cass says early on that the cat doesn't like him, which I think is because of the knife being possessed, the athame. Because once Will steals the athame, then the cat goes and sleeps with Cass and is like kind of nice to him.
I think the cat is trying to protect him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the cat's being nice to him. I think the cat's just like, I sense creepy shit.
Yeah.
Something bad's gonna happen. So I don't know if the cat was necessarily being nice, but I think the cat was definitely, knew that something was going on.
Yeah, I have the goddamn attic written in all caps on my notes.
Yeah, I don't know why no one else caught up on that. Like, y'all, check the attic. Don't keep saying, "Oh, we have rats, we have raccoons, we have a cat that keeps pawing at the fucking." Just go check out the attic, see what's going on. Do you find some little hair crosses? Then maybe there's something going on up there. I have one of those pull down attics.
Yes.
And it kind of freaks me out a little bit to think that there might be a dude living up there.
I mean, it would freak me out to think that there might be raccoons up there.
I'm cool with raccoons.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with something with sewn up eyes who are
Oh, Jesus. Yep.
Hex me to death.
I agree. That does not sound at all enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have a raccoon any day.
When you put it like that, can't argue with that.
My logic is impeccable.
I don't know what I was thinking with my anti-raccoon stance.
Raccoons are cool in comparison to a hex to death.
Yes, raccoons, they're better than ghosts.
So what were you expecting to happen that didn't?
Oh, I thought that someone was gonna... I thought that Cass was going to be betrayed by someone. And I thought it was probably going to be Morfran was going to turn out to be either behind his father's death or in general trying to do something sketchy. Because he was like a black magician and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I was totally wrong about that. He was totally on the side of good. So that was just a misdirect or something I made up.
So I actually have a couple of questions. I want to talk about the dad's death.
Okay.
So the dad died trying to kill the Obeah band.
Right.
So they're in, Louisiana, I think. And Kaz finds the cross. Was it in the fireplace, I think?
Yeah, it was in the fireplace.
And his mom and Gideon freak the fuck out and start screaming at him and all this stuff. Don't you think so much could have been nipped in the bud then if they didn't scream at him and rather said, here's some scary fucking shit. Avoid it at all costs. Because a kid, of course, is going to start doing, going to the abandoned book section. I mean, not the abandoned, what's the section of the library at Hogwarts? The forbidden book section or whatever.
Yeah, forbidden knowledge. Something.
Anyway, so of course a kid's going to go into that section of the library and start doing research. Why the fuck didn't they say then? This is what killed your dad. How about you don't kill ghosts? It just really drove me crazy that, he knew something terrible happened to someone who he loved and looked up to and who had this really scary, crazy job. But instead they just, because they're so scared of what happened to him, they just scream at him, this 7-year-old kid. And then he still takes up the knife.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Again, I would have mailed it away. Dropped it off a boat. I would have done something to that knife because it's bad news. Anyway, just thinking about that because, if I saw my husband get eaten alive or not see him get eaten alive, but see the remains of my husband with large chunks taken out of his body. I don't know. I might want to talk about that a little bit, or have someone else do it for me if I can.
Yeah, I mean, I
get protecting the kid. I get that, but I don't know. I feel like something could have been handled a little better in that case. But then she still lets him hunt ghosts. I'm gonna keep going back to that because she shouldn't have let him hunt ghosts. But then he wouldn't have met the love of his life. So, oh well. So you thought that Morfran was gonna turn on him. Besides that, what did you think of More Friend?
The characters I feel that we get to know best are Cass, obviously, and then his partners in crime there, and his mom. And then the others are not as well fleshed out. So I didn't.
There's something about him I really like. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's a gruff old guy who also knows about a lot of creepy, weird shit. I'm like, oh, that's intriguing.
He's a little bit like the only good character in Awoken.
Yes, he is. Who tells amazing stories that I'd love to hear. So Anna Dressed in Blood. I'm sorry. This book is just so weird, and yet I love it. It's not exactly scary, but I like how weird and slightly gory it is.
Yeah, and I like that. I mean, not everything is resolved, but I feel like it does kind of present sort of moral dilemmas, like in terms of, well, we have this ghost who's killed a bunch of people, but she didn't really want to kill them, and now she doesn't have to kill them anymore, but like, what do you do with this super powerful ghost that no longer is bound to the house and who can go around and do whatever she wants, and presumably is basically immortal? Like, how does she feel about it? How does everyone else feel about it? What do you actually do? Like, I thought that was all handled really well. Yeah, I like this book a lot, and it is, as you say, a quick read.
I'm not even sure how long it is, but it's a couple hours. That's how I time books. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's 320 pages.
So one thing that I guess I found curious is that the house seemed to have no neighbors.
Right. Well, it was
now. Why does this giant house in, not a tiny town, why is there nobody else on the street that sees people doing rituals in the driveway?
Yeah.
Why?
That's a fair question. I mean, I think most of this action happens while the kids are cutting school, I feel like. So maybe part of it is just that there aren't, people are at work or whatever. But yeah, nonetheless, it seems like people would be driving by or whatever. So
yeah, and I mean, sure, might be, I guess, bigger houses tend to be set back from the street a little bit, but it was at least, in 1958 when Anna died, it was close enough to things where it was a boarding house, so people could get there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going to walk over to the school dance with some boy, and it just seems like now it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I guess that's convenient for having to do witchcraft and having a house implode, but less likely or realistic.
Well, it's also so. First of all, I was confused and thought you were talking about Cass and his mom's house, not Anna's house.
Oh, they can live out in the fucking woods. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I feel like people give Anna's house kind of a wide berth just because it has this reputation for being haunted.
And you know what? They're right. It is.
Yeah, good call, people. Stay away from that place.
Well, you don't have any choice now because, as I said, it imploded. Anna took the Obeah man down into we don't know where after she punched a hole in the floor. So that's cool.
Yeah. Cass wants to get her back. But
yeah.
Frankly, that seems like not a great idea to me.
There's a sequel.
I know. Have you read it?
Yes.
Is it any good?
It's not bad, but the thing is, Anna is in we don't know where. So a lot of the book doesn't have, really the most interesting character.
Fair enough.
I mean, in this book, there are two really great characters.
Mm-hmm.
There's Cass's mom and Anna.
Yep.
And if one of those characters isn't in a lot of the book, you're like, huh. So it's just, it's Carmel, Thomas, and Cass. And, meh, they're fine.
Yeah.
We're on a mission.
They're no Ghostbusters.
They do, Cass does go to England to see Gideon, who is his dad's friend and mentor, who's sort of one of the guys in the ghost busting guild. And he's pretty interesting, but it's fine. It's no Anna dressed in blood.
Gotcha.
There's one other character who I wanted to mention.
Yes.
Daisy.
Yes.
What do you think of Daisy?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's a strange... I don't exactly understand how Daisy got onto Cass, or exactly what his... He wants Cass to go down and kill ghosts in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
He's real gothy. He sends Cass a letter written in blood. There's a lot about their relationship that I feel is a little bit hand-waved, like why Cass pays any attention to him.
And why Daisy knows about Cass to begin with.
Right.
Like, how do you know about this 17-year-old ghost killer, you 20-year-old goth? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Although I kind of like the idea of that, like, there's this kind of global network of weirdos who are all kind of weirdos in different ways, you know, like, I mean, I say weirdos not in a pejorative sense, but like geeks and college professors who are a little more into the occult than maybe they should be, and Wiccans, you know, like nice witch mamas, and strange goth kids who sign letters in blood, and, you know, and they're all like, somehow they're all sort of working together to try to make the world safer in this weird way. Like, I kind of enjoy that image, but it's not really...
I want to get in on the club, but they keep turning me away at the door. Anyway.
One thing that I thought was kind of interesting, just in terms of like the story not necessarily going where you expect it to, is when Cass is first talking to Carmel and I think Mike about ghosts, they tell two stories that are then that end up not having anything to do with the plot of the book. One is they meet at this cliff, or, you know, and there's a story about how there's a ghost there that drowns people, I think. And then they also talk about how they went to this other place for a previous party, and when they were driving back, this weird creature jumped in front of them in the road and then stood up and was some kind of ghost or cryptid or something. And that, again, is a thing that never really returns.
Maybe it's showing that they're, you know, more receptive to seeing this stuff than other people are.
That could be. Right, because it's clear that there's a real tendency for people you know, most people to just ignore this stuff.
Yeah, and you know, they even say, like, people will, you know, they will explain away, you know, just about anything. That's why, you know, when all of these, they even said local people got murdered by Anna Korloff, like, they just sort of went, oh, it must have been something else. Must have ran, you know, when the most popular kid at school gets ripped in half. Oh, must have just ran away. So I think a lot of people, like, in the face of the supernatural in Cass's world, will just explain it away. But the fact that they are like, oh yeah, we saw this shit, maybe that's how, I don't know, maybe they're just more receptive to it.
Yeah, I like that.
I like this book.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a weird book. I think it's sort of a sweet book. I think you don't need to read the sequel if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shaenon Dress in Blood.
2 ripped off thumbs up.
Yay.
All right. So we haven't talked about what book we want to do next.
Oh, what book do you want to do next?
Well, there are a few books that we were talking about being kind of excited about that are coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is coming out on May 9th.
Ooh, which one is that?
That is That Thing We Call a Heart by Sheba Karim.
Ooh, I really want to read that.
I found this list of books by Muslim Americans, I think, and sent that to you, and you was like, well, this one looks interesting, doesn't it? I looked at the description, which involves the main character. It says, decides to hook up with the most racist boy in school. I was like, all right, I'm in.
I need to find out why.
So that comes out on May 9th, and it's 288 pages long.
Oh, so that's going to be a really quick book.
Yeah, which is fortunate because I'm going to visit you
in just a few weeks.
like a week and a half later.
I know, yay. So
we'll talk about that then.
that sounds perfect.
So that's the book that we're going to talk about next time. And I figured out that May 17th is the final day for contest entries. So we actually have 2 entries now, which means that there will be 2 winners.
That's awesome.
And I'll say, midnight Eastern time on Wednesday, May 17th, but sooner is better. Send us some lyrics about, or inspired by one of the books or by the podcast as a whole, or really anything at all. And we'll pick our favorites and we'll send you stuff and I'll record your lyrics and it'll be fun. So guess that's it. Thanks to the Sentimental Favorites for letting us use their song Hey There for our theme. You can send us email at podcast@loveyoulikeCrazy.com. I guess that's it.
That's awesome.
There's
going to be a lot of editing.
There always is. It's fine. You know what, Carrie? I love you like crazy, and what I'm going to love even more is seeing you in person.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome, and it's just a few weeks away, and I am really excited.
Me too.
Give me a call when you get back. Hey there.
Hey.
We should probably also consider watching a Lifetime movie.
Yes, we definitely have to do that.
When you're in town. But we need to figure out what movie.
We do. I think it seems like there's a certain amount of turnover on the Lifetime website. or we could do Hallmark, by the way. For some reason, I've been assuming that we would want to do Lifetime, but see what Hallmark also.
Ooh, they both sound pretty terrible. Let's see what see what Hallmark has to offer. Anyway, so we'll just need to figure that out. Oh my god. I just Google Hallmark movies and it's like, oh, it looks terrible. Oh my god. Oh. A Princess for Christmas?
Yeah, that sounds great. The Perfect Catch. I bet that's a fishing themed romance.
Murder, She Bakes.
Yes. Yeah, they did one of those movies, but I think that's a series.
Oh god, this sounds awful. Oh shit, what are we getting ourselves into? This, oh my god. Sweet nothing in my ear, just desserts. The Shunning. Ooh.
Oh.
I'm sort of intrigued by the Shunning.
Campfire Kiss.
Oh, a young Amish woman who goes on the search for something.
They might have done that one.
Ah, god damn it!
But they might not have also. They definitely did do an Amish one, but this might be a different one.
Before she succumbs to cancer, the dying wish of Laura Mayfield Bennett is to be reunited with the daughter she never knew. Unfortunately, that daughter, Katie Lapp, is a member of the Amish order. Oh, God, that sounds awful.
Okay, no, I don't think they did do that one, so maybe that's a good choice.
Oh, God, this whole... Oh, my God.